You got an audible? Audible?
It's not even working.
Welcome back to the Student Media Podcast, everyone. It is Sunday Pro Bowl day. That is what I'm currently. It's what we're missing right now with this good podcast that we do. This has kind of turned into a Sunday show as of recently, where we just Sunday works for everybody, you know.
True.
As always, I am with Deacon Tuttle, my co-host. He's riding along. Deacon's just taking punch after punch after punch. It seems like every single time we do this show, you know, he gives me a call before we start, and he's like, "Oh man, I don't know what to do. I got to do this. I got to do that." And I'm just sitting here jotting down my notes. It's like, yeah. I want to swap lives with you one day, like just for one day. See what it's all about. Because you always got something going on, and I feel bad for you. So,
Thank you. I appreciate
glad you can make time to be here, because you kind of have to. I need you. You in this. We got to do this together, man. We get this done every single week.
Yep.
Our host, special one as always. He is the host of the Lunchtime Rewind as well as News Central, and this guy is just an absolute beast. I'm sure you guys have seen him around campus. You've heard his voice for sure on the radio, 88.1 The Burg. It is none other than Dave Hartless. Dave, how is it going, man?
It's good. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I can't speak for Deacon, but I'm good.
I am doing well. You know, I'm happy to be here. We're happy to have you on the podcast for the first time. It's exciting. So thanks for taking the time out of your day to, you know, share about yourself and what you got going on.
You all are making me too big of a person. You give me like this really big head, and I already wear like a size 8 hat. Okay.
Okay, but people, the thing is people know you, right? Everyone knows you. If you go to Central, I feel like people know Dave Hartless. So it's like, and also not to mention, this is kind of our field of work right here. You know, I feel a little intimidated right now because I know you know what you're doing, and I feel the pressure at the moment.
Man, you did interviews with me all last quarter every Wednesday morning.
Yep, it's fun stuff.
Come on, you already know my playbook. You got me figured out.
The re-records just because something went wrong the first 2 times we did it.
Yeah, because I would say episode, or I wouldn't hit record.
Episode didn't hit record. We're talking about issues, just frequent things that popped up on our Wednesday mornings at like 8:30 before our 9 o'clock Terry class, Deacon.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
That was before that. Yeah.
Yep.
First Amendment, shout out. You know, this is what we do as hosts.
Hey, that class, I took that class 2 years ago and I loved it. And I took it online.
Yeah, and you chatted up how much you loved it too. You were willing to give me all the answers if I needed it. I had to learn for myself though.
You'd say Terry would have figured it out though. If you would have taken all my answers, she would have figured it out.
She probably would have. She's clever.
She's
Dave,
smart.
How has this winter quarter been treating you? Just, you know, working on campus and kind of your day-to-day life of what you do at CWU.
Man, it's been good. It's like, you know, winter quarter is always difficult. I think for everybody, not just me. Yeah. Like, I get the campus is dark. When I leave campus, it's dark.
Yep.
And it's just like constant dark, but it's been good. It's been busy. Like, as you know, I'm a man of many hats. I have multiple different jobs.
Yep.
And so, like, just to give you an idea, we're the 5th day into February right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And this quarter, I've already been to Olympia twice. And then I'm going to New York at the end of this month.
Oh, let's go.
I have for everybody who doesn't know, I'm also your student representative on the board of trustees.
Yeah, I was saving that. I was going to throw a teaser in there, and I wanted to introduce that later, but this is why you're a better host than me, because, you know, you're like, oh, Evan's forgetting the details. Let me put that in there real quick.
Yeah, that resume part was left out, I guess.
No, it wasn't. I got it right here. I got it right here.
Oh, he knows everything about it. He's prepared. See,
he's got the
trustee right there. It's in my notes.
Yeah, no, like I went there 1 week for my official confirmation, and then I went back to this last week as a trustee to go lobby for not only Central but all the public universities in Washington.
Wow.
For things like, you know, to get more funding for the school, because that's where a lot of money comes from the state to help the school operate, whether it be through our Pell grants, through the Washington State need grants, things like that, right? And so that, that helps not only the university, but the students and all that stuff. So I went there last week to lobby in favor of that, to, help not only Central, but, even Western. I know, boo Western, none of us like them. They're the rivals. But, to help everybody, because if we win, anybody who's going to a public university wins as well. So
right.
What do those meetings typically look like, and how do you feel like you're making a difference, and like you leave it, and you're like that was a good step forward,
For me personally, people like stories.
Mhm.
They want to find a way that you can relate to somebody, right? If you just say,
Here.
oh, give me this, give me, or you try to scare somebody, you can make them defensive or not be ready. So instead, if you switch it up, like, hey, this is what Central's done for me. Can you imagine that there's more people like me at other schools, and you give a story, something that they can connect to? Like, they're more like, oh, you know what? I see your point. Let me see what I can do with my committee. Let me see what I can do to help other people around here and get that going forward.
I see. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
it's cool.
So when people start putting like numbers and data points and stuff in your face at these meetings, do you just kind of start yawning and get bored and want to?
Pretty much, because I don't care about numbers. Like,
right.
These representatives, what people understand is the budget's the budget. You can put numbers out there all day, but the budget's the budget. It's not going to change. It's already decided. It's your job to convince them to take some of that money and kind of push it back towards your cause, your need, your want. And, like you can say, all we need is, or we're going to starve. We're a public university. You really think the state's going to let us starve? As a university as a whole thing, right? Yes, all of the students are starving. I'm drinking like a grocery outlet discounted energy drink, and I don't know what it's called right now. So
grocery outlet is the best. It's the best.
Except for energy drinks sometimes, though. You can find those weird ones. You're like, what? I'm going to try that. I regret my choice instantly.
You're speaking my language right now. I will go down, they got the main aisle, the one on the right hand side of where all the frozen stuff is. And that's where they kind of have their it's where they have their miscellaneous like energy drinks and stuff that they have just limited stock of. And I got the ice energy drinks. They had a pack of 4 it was $1.99, so it was $2 for a pack of 4. I bought 2 packs of them, and the reason they're $2 is because they're the most garbage things you'll ever drink in your life.
No. What's
so
the flavor? We gotta warn people about what not to get here.
Hold on, give me a second.
Oh, he's got it. This is like the opposite of a plug. This is like a deterrent.
But the worst part is, though, we are still gonna drink it because we paid it.
Oh yeah.
No free advertisements.
Oh no.
It is citrus. It is strawberry citrus, and it is terrible. And I've got 5 more of these things because I don't want to drink them anymore.
There you go.
See, I like those ones, but not the strawberry citrus ones. I like those, but not that flavor.
Yeah, I like the blue ones.
Yes, those ones are good. Like
those are really good.
Yeah.
This is turned into an energy drink show all of a sudden. I'm here for it because I've got a fridge fully stocked.
Hey, we're all college students. We live off caffeine. Let's just be honest here.
That is a good point. We're gonna have a Deacon, maybe that's what we do. Maybe we have an episode where we rank energy drinks.
Oh, dude, I would love that. We get a classic tier ranking out there.
Yep.
Be great.
Everybody's gonna say Red Bull though, because it's what they know.
Yeah, I don't drink Red Bull. I stay away from it.
I'm not a fan of them. Not a fan of them.
Going back to the kind of the stuff that you do that is really important besides ranking energy drinks with us on this podcast. The moment of being named student trustee back in August by the governor himself, what was that like? Because that that's kind of a heavy moment, right? Like you feel honored and you feel like you're making a big difference, but I would imagine you also feel a lot of pressure with that. What was that initial feeling like?
The initial feeling was whiplash. Because this is how it started. Everybody says August, but it actually happened like late July.
Okay.
But the newsletter thing didn't get out till August. That's why everybody says August, right?
Got you.
Because my life got crazy, their life got crazy. That's how we can get the press release out. But how it started was I interviewed for it back in mid-June, early July. And like, oh, we'll get a hold of you in 2 weeks. All right, cool. I hear nothing. I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't get it. Oh well, just go on to the next thing. And then one day I'm at the radio station doing my show with somebody who's co-hosting with you that day. And I see his phone number from Olympia. I was like, I gotta take, and then I was like, oh, so spam's calling me. Ignore it, go on with the day. There's a voicemail. What the heck? Spam don't leave voicemails.
No, if there's a voicemail, you know it's important.
Right? So I check it. I'm like, I look at Cole's like, I gotta go. I was like, I need you to run the port for a minute. I gotta go outside and return this phone call. And I got this is on a Thursday, and the office right there, and like, well, would you like the position? I was like, yeah. Like I said it a little more enthusiastic than that, but I was like, yeah, I'm down. So I get it. And they're like, okay, well, we got to send things over to the president's office. And then now, don't say anything till the school knows. You just told me on a Thursday, and I know darn well that nobody in the summertime is working on Friday, so they're not going to get this email until Monday. You're asking me to hold on for 4 days and not tell anybody about this. Okay, here we go. And I'm like, so I get the email Monday from President Wolpart, and it was most like, hey, we're very excited to have you here. Welcome to the team. We want to work with you. We're looking very forward. I was like, oh, that's really cool of them, right? I was like, thank you for the generic response. So I thought, right, because he said it to the whole board as well. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, he did his due diligence. He's doing what the president's supposed to do and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, each single person from the board replied to that email individually, congratulating me. Every single person on the board. I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. And so I'm emailing President Wolpart, and I'm like, so I'm one of those, like, the best advice I can give anybody is when you want to do something, be ready for it. Like when I got appointed to the board, I started looking up the agenda, like what's coming up for the year.
Mm-hmm.
The Monday I got the email, there was the retreat for trustees in Leavenworth that Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
So I sent an email. I'm like, hey, I noticed that there's this thing going on Wednesday. Am I supposed to be there? And he goes, can you be there? I was like, yeah, I can be there. I can move things around. I can, jump on my schedule. He goes, all right, cool. See you Wednesday. And when I walked in, like, that's when the whiplash really started. They didn't treat me like a student. They treat me like one of their colleagues. I wasn't just another person to them. It was life-changing, in all honesty.
That's really cool. When
I got there, I was like, I walk in, I'm at this resort, and I'm all nervous. And I'm like, I don't get nervous. What the heck? I've interviewed Jay Inslee. I've interviewed multiple different members of Congress. I've done some pretty cool things, and this is what's gonna make me nervous. What the heck? And so I'm like, okay, yada yada yada. And next thing you know, open arms. We want to know about you. Tell us about you. Who's Dave? And it was really, really cool. And it's been this like life change after that. Like the whiplash happened when I got back, and my email inbox was flooded with people. We want to meet with you. Congratulations. Yada yada yada. I was like, what the heck? I was like, this isn't just a face thing. You're not just a face here if you don't want it to be.
Right.
You get to choose what you do with this position, Dave. I was like, let's see what I can do with it. I was like, I'm not going to abuse it, but how can I help my colleagues on campus? How can I help the CW community? Not just the students, but they are front of mind for me all the time. People I'm in classes with, people that I work with all the time. I was like, but how can I help the university, which in return helps the students, right? And that's how I can't take it on. It's been a fun, crazy experience, and I'm so glad I've got to do it so far.
Do you think that nervousness that you spoke about kind of stemmed from the fact that, when you're in the shoes of someone who's, doing what you've done for so long, is conducting these interviews and just having kind of these on the air conversations and recorded conversations with these people. Now you're almost at their level, like they're seeing you as equal in terms of the kind of work that you guys are doing together now. Does that just the nervousness came from that pressure or that sudden realization?
The realization was I was giving myself imposter syndrome. Yeah. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I don't deserve this. Why am I here? Right. And when I was talking with one of my friends, and she's like, you have a big personality. She goes, you're a big guy with a big personality. Why'd you try to take your body and stick it into a middle aisle of an airplane seat? It's not going to work. You'd be uncomfortable. And she's like, same way with your personality. You have a big personality. Why try to contain it? Just be yourself.
Use it.
And that's what I really, and I was like, I've always done that, but I've always tried to stop it. And that's what I realized I was doing when I got appointed to this position by the governor. I was like, yeah, my personality helped me get here. Not the only thing, but it was a big part of why I'm here. And I was like, I shouldn't curb that at all. And that's why this year I've been, people are like, oh, you're a lot more vocal. No, I'm just not being quiet all the time anymore. I'm being myself. And so I'm more like just trying to understand that with this position comes great responsibility. And a lot of people in the past didn't treat it like this, but I'm making the choice I want to make it the best I can be.
Absolutely.
I want to be able to walk away at the end of the day knowing that I did everything I could to help out my colleagues, the university, everything as a whole, and that the next person who takes over this position, because I only get it for a year. It's only for a year. For them to realize that if you get, you have a chance here, sure, looks good on paper, great letter of recommendation, fantastic. But these positions mean nothing unless you do something with it. And that's why I tell so many people I run into. You can have things in your resume, but what do you do with it? Because anybody, if you go for these jobs like, oh, I can get this because I have this on my resume, chances are they're going to know what that position does. They're going to ask you, okay, so what do you do with it?
Right.
And they're going to wait for that response. If you say, well, I just showed up to the board meetings. Cool. Yeah. That's why I've held office hours this year. So if students want to come talk to me, they can. I wrote an op-ed last quarter to Observer, sharing what's going on with the school and what at the meetings. I'm gonna walk away knowing I did everything in my power to help out everybody.
Yeah,
and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, so you're talking a lot about the representation process and kind of how you're doing that. What about Central and like being a Wildcat are you passionate about, and what do you think lends itself or to just like the experience of like being in college at Central?
And I love that question. Simple. It's the smaller classrooms. Central gives you the opportunity to do whatever you want, really. The beautiful thing about college and Central in particular is like this. College is a place where you can fail. And in Central, if you try your hardest and you fail, it's okay. Somebody's gonna be there to help you. This is like one of the few opportunities, like, I mean, you all are in journalism, one way or another. Yeah. How many times have you messed up on something and your professor goes, you know what, we'll figure this out. We'll get it fixed. But this is how to do it differently next time.
A lot.
Yeah.
Hours and hours.
See, if you were a journalist at a real, place, they're like, all right, cool, you're fired.
Yeah.
They wouldn't lose sleep about it. But here you get to learn like, oh, that's what I got to do different next time. And you learn that mistake and you have that opportunity. That's so great. Like, Central is, you get those small classrooms. People who are teaching here, especially for a long time, are here because they want to be here.
Right.
This is their community. This is what they want to, they want to be a Wildcat at the end of the day until they retire. That's their choice. And it's really cool. I think that's the biggest thing about Central is that right there is that, they actually, some people feel like they don't care about the students here. And I would have to highly disagree with that. If you have a doctorate and you're teaching here, you made a choice to stay here. Maybe not to come here because it's the only job you can get, but you chose to stay here after you got experience. When another school would have hired you. But you made a choice to stay here, work here, be a part of this community. And a lot of them, not all of them, I'm not going to say all professors are perfect because that's a lie. And I'm not going to lie to anybody. But I would say a good part of them actually really do care about how the students succeed.
Oh, yeah, I would think so, too. And especially in the media and journalism community and just being in communications here at Central, it's super tight knit once you kind of get down to the end of it.
It really is. And I'm like almost upset I dropped my PR degree, but it just no fault in communication department. But when you're taking the same class with the same professors every single quarter,
every quarter,
I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm getting much out of this. And it's not their fault at all. It's the lack of funding the communication department gets. And so, but yeah, plus also I decided that I want to go be a college professor and a PR. I don't want to go be a college professor in public relations. I want to do it in political science. So that's why I kind of stopped doing it. But yeah, no, the college department, fantastic people over there. Dr. Soleimani, Terry. I can't even say good enough things about Terry. Terry, if you're watching, I'm not trying to kiss up to you because I know better.
He knows. No one's getting past
Terry, and she says it from a mile away. You can't BS her.
No, you can't. You can't get around anything with Terry, and that's something that I really like about her. I say it all the time. She's like a coach. Like if you ever played sports, she's a coach. You know, you've been around her a million times before.
Yep, just be honest with her.
Yeah,
honestly, and she's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and then
one
on to the
time,
next thing.
I messed up with something she said. I didn't, and I just owned it, right? Didn't try, I missed some assignments. I didn't try to turn them in, nothing, right? It's like, well, I messed up. That's on me. She sends a message. You gonna do these or not?
Sounds exactly like her.
I was like, well, Terry, I messed up, so I didn't think I deserved it. She goes, I decided to grade, not you.
Also sounds exactly like her.
You have, X amount of days to get these done. Turn them in. Okay, turn one in. She goes, do better.
This is so weird. I'm just like picturing that. It's like a perfect script right there.
It really is.
Don't talk about scripts.
And she's so fantastic. And and Dr. Garcia, like there's so many great people inside that department. And I wish more students who are aspiring to go into journalism or communication in general. You're gonna learn a lot in that, in that department. Just get ready to see the same person a lot and get to have a really good personal relationship. One joy of being at a small university. I mean, I have some of my professors' phone numbers. And I send them a random text message to ask them something about class. It's not even really obtain a class, but I try to find a way to make it obtain a class. So that's another cool thing about your original question. You can find a mentor here. You can find somebody in your field. You can find somebody in your niche that's going to help guide you through this process. And I think that's the biggest thing. But students have to understand you have to do it. They're not going to be there like, oh, let me help you. You want to do this? I can tell. I'm going to hold your hand. No. You got to say, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I need your help. And they'll be like, cool, let's go.
Exactly. I have to squeeze this question in there because you have run through the student medias before, and we were just talking about this a little bit. What is your favorite one that you worked in? Because Deacon and I have gone through all three of them at this point, or we're currently going through all three of them, as CNW is our last one, and we're doing it right now. Yeah. And I think I'll be able to pick a favorite once I get done with CNW. But coming from you, what's your favorite that you did?
Honestly, the only one I did was the Observer.
Just the Observer? You didn't do any of the other ones?
No, this was 2 years ago, and my experience was horrid.
Oh,
I have no problem admitting it.
I've heard this story before.
This is what happened.
I need to hear this. I need to be
one is during COVID. This was the first year of COVID, so 2 years ago. So I'm doing all on Zoom. Two, every time I would pitch an idea, that doesn't obtain to the CW community. I was like, it involves an employment place in Ellensburg, and you want to tell me that it doesn't? And they'd look at me, but then they would turn around and the lead editor would report on the story themselves. Oh, so you're stealing my stuff. Cool. That's awesome. First story I ever written for the Observer. They put it on the front page and it got the most views. First one I ever did. And then after that, I was like, cool, thank you for putting my thing on the front page. Like, well, you did a really good job, right? I was like, thank you, I appreciate that. After that, I got buried. But yet I was still popping up like the top 3 written things. And then I did an opinion piece on chase your passion, not the money. Most read opinion piece of the quarter. They got mad because I had a niche for it. And that's what it felt like to me, right? And the points were like, every time I do this, like, well, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. It's like, are you giving me any real guidance, or are we having a meeting twice a week and a 15-minute journalism session? And I'm over here trying to figure this out on my own. And then you're mad when I'm not turning things in on time when I send somebody 4 emails. This is what put me over the edge. This is the one right here. I tried doing a profile piece on somebody. As I'm trying to, I sent this person 5 emails in 3 days, to the point where I was just literally finding the one I sent, editing it, and sending it out again. I'm
Yep.
just trying to flood your inbox to at least tell me no. And they're like, okay, well, it was some other thing on campus. Okay, well, just find this information online about it because you don't have time to do the interview.
Get an
And
online
then,
source.
Yep, find online sources, turn it into a story, turn it in. I got docked points for not having quotes about it.
Oh, geez.
And my response was, is your ego that big you're going to dock me points when this is how you told me to do it? It got so bad that at the end of the quarter, like, oh yeah, please give your opinion on the class, but if you bash us too hard, we will knock your grade.
Wow.
And all I said was this: I understand you're retired, but the next person who's going to take over this thing should oversee how the students do the grading. Yes, the student ran, but there's no reason why a student should figure out a grade for another student.
I think with the Observer, one of my things was, because I worked with the Observer obviously last quarter and stuff, and it's new management. It's completely different now. It's like I don't know who was doing it back then when you were in there and having your bad experiences, but the people there now are surreal people. They're great people. They do
I've heard
great
nothing but
work.
great things about Jen. Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things.
Jen and Catherine, editor in chief, the editing staff, everyone does great work over there now.
Yeah.
But I've just similar issues with that, where it's like having to battle finding online sources, but now everyone's so helpful there. I never had an issue with that. If you have trouble finding sources, it's like everyone kind of workshops together to help you figure out people to talk to, hopefully like by tomorrow if you need it. But then, I think like the other thing is just, I'll be honest, I lost my train of thought there.
That's right. Now here's another example of what they did to me. I did a story on the craft brewery program and how it was facing uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
I had a great interview with everybody in there. They shelved my story so many times that the school reported on it before weeks after I did mine, and then they just stuck mine online.
They
tried to bury me, and I'm like, why? And I was like, oh, you're saying things they don't like. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the horror stories of things that happened like that in the past.
I was like, oh, I hurt your ego. Oh, darn. And I wasn't even mad about it. Like, I got to be in that class. And I called it a day. I was like, your grading system is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you want to knock me for this? By all means, please do. But make sure you put it in the rubric why you did it.
That's why I think there needs to be like a prerequisite for the intro classes to taking those classes.
100%. Like, they should have a prerequisite for that class where literally all you're doing is sitting there learning how to ask questions
and write articles at the same time.
Write articles and how to be prepared.
Take your questions and the answers to those questions and then put them into article form, because we've had experiences where it's like, and it's like you said, being student run class, it's sometimes it's great and sometimes it's a bit of a nightmare, because those students who are in charge, they're in charge of everything that's going on in the paper, in charge of trying to teach people who've never written articles how to write, and then also in charge of grading and editing and then putting out the paper. And it's a lot. And it's
every
like
week.
if you got someone coming in who's never written a paper before or written an article, and you have to try to teach them in like a week and a half to do it next week, it's great because you're going to learn really, really fast. But at the same time, it might backfire and they might come back and say like, oh, these people didn't teach me anything. And it's like, I can see the flaws, but at the same time, the management that they've got now and the experiences that I've had and the Deacon's been having seems to be
that's awesome. Yeah,
beyond what you were dealing with.
That's awesome, because I'll never forget that their excuse behind why they did it like that was, well, we're teaching you how a real newsroom runs, or a real print media runs. I go, cool. Does a print media dock your pay when you don't get your sources right when they told you how to do it? And they just looked at me, and I was like, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry about this, because you have this mightier than thou, you owe me a favor complex. When again, I've never done it before. Like, I know what's going on.
Exactly.
And I actually told Terry that story. She's like, I'm so sorry to hear that. I was like, Terry, what's her name was graduating or retiring. They were checked out. They didn't care.
Been there.
And I was like, they're done with school, so it is what it is. And and with that being said, the comms department has produced a lot of great people in media.
Mhm.
A lot of great people. There's Lainey Erickson. There's, I mean, shoot, ask Terry. She can give you a list of 30 people off the top of her head right now, that quick. Another reason why people should actually looking for a job, go through this program, and you connect with the right people, you will find one.
Well, what we found out right there was that your favorite student media was also your least favorite student media because it was the only one that you took. So
Exactly.
Yep, there you
that kind
go.
of backfired on that.
No, you didn't know. It's all good. Like, I was gonna do other ones, but like I said, that was such a bad experience for me that like I couldn't do it anymore.
It soured you.
Yeah, I was like, I could do hype. It's gonna be the same thing. Oh, well, it's less stories. Yeah, but if it's still student ran where the students decide my grade, I don't want my fate to be decided on an unemotional student, because I know personally when I gotta do things, sometimes I don't do it with the best emotions and I lose my stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm not a professional grader. I mean, I've done TAing before that. Yeah, but not like that. No. When I have a bad day, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly. Dealing with not necessarily student media stuff but more media oriented stuff. I guess one of the last questions I had for you, as someone who is working in radio and has been working in radio for a long time, and you do the lunchtime rewind, it's kind of just a one-off question, but what's your favorite genre of music? Something a little lighthearted here after you dove into the depths of your terrible experience with
And I
student
tore
media.
apart the poor observer, which I did not really mean to, folks. If you're watching this, they're good people. I had a bad experience.
And that happens. That happens.
Real.
Yeah, and it's probably partial my personality at the time. I was in COVID. I mean, in my defense,
it was bad. It was bad for everyone.
It was
bad for everyone.
It was. But my favorite genre, that's a great question. If I had to pick one, I love R&B. I say this every day on my show. I love R&B. I don't know why. There's like a nostalgia behind it. Probably reminds me of my first crush in middle school, and Casey and JoJo came on, and oh my life. And I'm like, will you dance with me? All awkward and 13 years old, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. The hand on the hands, like, yeah,
it's a win.
It's a win. Greatest 3 minutes of my life.
It's funny.
What about
you got any music recommendations currently that you're listening to?
Oh,
damn camera keeps following me around. It's too smart.
That's creepy, dude. That's like some Skynet stuff right there, man. Recommendations. Oh, that's a good question. Like, so I've been driving a lot, right? Like I said, and I'm driving again because I'm going to New York at the end of this month for radio. We'll get to that one here in a second. If I had to pick something, like not even necessarily a genre, like I open up my Spotify driving the West Side this weekend because I have to use my Google Maps because I don't know where anything is, so I can't listen to my satellite radio. And I'm like, I haven't listened to this playlist in a while, and I forgot how good like that late 90s, early mid 2000s hip hop really was, and how different it was from what I knew growing up, to where I was like, I forgot about how Fat Joe is halfway relevant at one time. And I was like, I forgot that J. Cole started in the mid 2000s. Why do I still see him as new when he's been around for almost 20 years? What am I doing to myself?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this stuff isn't bad. Like, I would just tell people, find something you haven't listened to in a minute. Find that old playlist.
Yeah.
That you just forgot about because for whatever reason, right? And open it back up and see what's in there. But also with playlists, I'm convinced that we put songs in there so we can still have a skip feature. So we don't have to listen to it because we hate it, but it's still in the playlist. And we put it there.
You're like, oh, this is in here, but am I ever going to listen to it? Probably not.
No,
just,
yeah.
It's not even going to remove it. Just
not. I need a skip. That's how I look at it. But yeah, at the end of the month, I'm actually going to New York. Man, whoever watches this thing is going to think I am so self-centered and just the greatest, in my head, the greatest person ever. At the end of this month, I am traveling to New York because I got nominated for Best On-Air Radio Personality.
What am I
Congratulations,
doing?
that's awesome.
Thank
What
you.
am I doing? How did I miss that?
Because I haven't told a lot of people about it. It hasn't been.
It's not like
displayed too much.
it's not anywhere to be seen that I could have
No.
written it down. Okay. All right. Well, that makes me
No,
feel better.
you're
but
good there.
Big congratulations. Big
Yeah, that's
congratulations.
Thank you.
on
Yes,
that.
at the end of the month,
Super
I
cool.
go there. I am nominated for that award. I am nominated for best interview with Jay Inslee. Best
Big stuff.
radio promotion for my lunchtime rewind show.
Great show.
I love that show. So much fun. Anybody wants to look into this stuff, like you like what they're doing here too, you'll get more experience, like consistent experience. Go talk to the radio station. I did this with Evan every week last quarter. Something similar to this. It's
I was just
awesome.
saying, I talked to the radio station last quarter and no one ever got back to me. So
Are you serious?
Oh no, it's just we're just exposing.
I'm fixing that tomorrow.
the more
No shade,
important
no
stuff
shade.
back to you. The more important stuff back to you and your incredible nominations here.
Yes, that one, and then like, yeah, best interview with Governor Inslee with like co-host Griffin Sodders. Best honor personality, best like I had like 3 or 4 awards I'm nominated for. Like I'm the finalist for college radio.
Wow.
Well,
That
I wish you would have told me. I wish you could have given me this information beforehand so I could have introduced it. But at the same
You
time,
know what?
I like letting
proven
you be
he's
the one.
better
to do
host
it.
again.
We got breaking news on this show.
There it
see?
is.
We got breaking
There-
news on this show.
There you
And
go.
it's because of Dave. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to put the. I'm gonna have to make some Instagram posts tomorrow in class. No,
Yeah,
I
see,
won't.
then
I
go
won't do
do
that.
it.
I won't throw that out there. if
Do
you want
it.
me
No,
to.
by all means, go ahead. If this helps you all look, if it helps this get more traction,
It's
do
not
it.
about me. It's not about me. It's about you.
No, this is about you. I'm here to help you out. You're interviewing me
Oh,
because
the
you're
tables
looking
have
for
turned.
because you're looking to increase your traffic on this, right?
Yeah, sort of.
All right,
It's
then, and that's
something like
okay.
that.
That's a good thing. You want to get more views. Ask Terry how many views that the interview that Lainey did with you last year got
Oh
on
yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, I was looking at it. It was a lot.
It was like over 4,000, I think.
I could pull it up right now.
Do it. I'm kind of curious.
This
I just want
camera,
to show
good Lord.
people what you get when you put into school. At the end of the day, that's it. You hear a lot. I know all of us hear this. Oh, I'm going to walk out of school with no experience. How am I supposed to have experience when I'm going to class and when I'm in school? That's what these jobs and things on campus are for, to show you get the experience, to show you get the skills, and say, you know what, I don't have it, but I do have this.
Mhm.
And it obtains of this. That's what I'm trying to do. I didn't think I'd get nominated for that award. I didn't think I'd be on the board of trustees, but I gave it a shot. I threw my name in the ring just to see what happened. I'm like, let's do it. Why not? Let's go.
Yep.
Let's give
Because
it a
you're
shot.
ready.
I wasn't even ready. I just did it. I was just a blind jump. I was jumping in head first, no hands.
That's what you have to do sometimes, right?
Facts.
That's how you learn.
That's exactly how it is. You're right.
There is. I mean, one of the things, like, I had a question when it came to you doing radio and you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Where does that inspiration come from? Because, did you grow up listening to radio and like listening to shows and calling into shows like that? Or did it just kind of come naturally?
See, this is a cool question. So, I started at the Burg when I was 18, many years ago in a galaxy far, far away, and I wasn't even in school. I found on a loophole of this is public radio. You have to let me do it because I'm a part of the public. And they honored it. Well, lo and behold, I was 18, immature, and didn't know what I was doing. But I did win an award of most improved DJ for the 2 years I was there. And then I stopped doing it. And then I went back to school, and in fall of 19, so right before the pandemic,
Of course.
I hear on the airwaves on campus that the Burg's looking for DJs. The Burg's looking for DJs. I was like, you know what? I think I'll do it. I have a face for radio. Let's give this a shot. And so I applied for it, and I go through the process, and they actually lost my application.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I went through all my training, and I had one train left, and nobody's getting a hold of me. So here I am, and I'm hounding the Burg. I'm like, I want to finish this. I want to finish this. I want to get back on radio. I just wanted to do it. Honestly, this is going to sound really nerdy. I wanted to do news. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to inform campus. Yes, I am that not much of a nerd.
Oh.
And when this started, like, And then the old station manager sends me a message like, hey, come down and talk to you in my office. Okay. You go, so I was listening to demos from people training, and he goes, you don't need to be doing news right now. I want you to have your own show.
There you go.
Okay. And he goes, you're the older student here. I was like, oh man, why I gotta call me? I make a joke, right? I was like, isn't that obvious? As I have gray hair in my beard. And he's like, I want you to do a throwback show. It's what you know, and I think people will really connect with it. All right, let's go. So that's what I did, and I started it in late February 2020. So yeah, pandemic time. And I was doing it to the point where like, oh, campus is shut down. That's when they shut down the whole campus. I'm still going into the studio doing my show because I needed something to do. And I was having that much fun doing it. And they all look, I was like, I'm not around anybody. I'm in a room by myself. I'm not hurting anybody.
Right.
To the point to where they had to turn off my card to get into the building because they don't want anybody on campus.
They didn't let you go in anymore
That's
after that?
crazy.
No, I was doing it over Zoom for like the rest of that spring quarter.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I get they shut the whole thing down.
Oh no, like I said, everybody got shut down. It wasn't just me. And so like, yeah, then like that whole summer got shut down. I tried to go back next year. Things are still super strict. I got to do a show a couple times. Like I did a news show in the morning. I had like a morning drive show. And then I had like this other show. And then last year, like I get hired on to do news. And I was like, hey, I'm going to do news now finally. Awesome. And then doing with news. And then I still want to do my show. Like I want to do a radio show. Awesome. Like, okay, what do you want to do? I was like, I'd love to go back and doing my throwback show. Like, okay, we'll figure out a new name for it. You should rebrand yourself. Done. So that's where we came up with the name Lunchtime Rewind. And I just it's fun. I know I have the personality for it, right? I know how to connect with people, even if you're not there. Like you're doing this stuff right now, right? You don't know who's paying attention. You don't know who's gonna watch this later.
Right.
Yeah.
But
we always ask who our fans are. We don't know, but we know that people are watching.
Exactly. And that's what I do. Is like,
them.
I get so many people so often to just say, hey, when I'm in public, I enjoy your show. You help my day get that much better. And I'm like, I'm just a student DJ, but thank you. Like that meant a lot to me. Yeah, and so if you ever listen to my show, especially the end, I always thank everybody who tunes in. And I make it personal. Because oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know what your show reminds me of? And it's it's for me personally, it's last winter I broke my ankle right almost a year ago to the day, actually. What's the day today? 3 days from now, a year ago, I broke my ankle. Oh, and wow. When I would go to campus and I couldn't really go home because I'd get dropped off by my roommate. So I'd be on campus all day and I'd crutch over to the bistro right after Terry's class in the morning. And I would sit there, just do my work until my next class started. And I would sit in there for pretty much the entirety of your show. And I would just kind of like listen to everything that's going on and what you were talking about. So every time I hear your show now, it takes me back to then, which is like a good and bad thing, but it's just kind of like it's a nostalgic thing, to be honest. And it's only been a year.
And I always talk about that in my shows. Like the show's designed for nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
To remember something, maybe not good, maybe not bad, but it's something you remember from the past.
Right.
And it's helped you get to where you are today. And that's why I always have a positive message in my show. But I also tell people it's okay to have a bad day. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means you're human. Sorry. I mean, and so, but yeah, no, like that's why I do it. It's just fun to me. And I was able to be very creative with my show. And that's another cool thing about, especially just communication on this campus in general, from the radio station all the way to Lynn Hall. They're going to help you get to where you want to go if you show the effort of wanting to be there. And that's my biggest takeaway from all of this, my experience. And so radio's fun, folks. Journalism is fun. It's not easy. Everybody watches the news like, oh, I can be like that person.
It's not easy at all.
No, they don't understand that you spend 6 hours prepping for a 15-minute segment online, or for, like you're going to spend so much time editing this up just to get it out there. And it's not going to be anywhere as long as the time you spent prepping as us doing this right now.
Yeah. My prep time it's to be questioned, but especially with these notes that I've got here. I thought I did so well on this one, but you threw so many curveballs at me, and that's what I love about this. This is
We gotta
great
keep him
stuff.
on his toes, man.
I'm the best and worst person to ever interview. Is one, you don't have to ask the questions because I'll answer the next one you're thinking of.
You did that a couple times, to be honest.
See? And two, I'll take you on an interesting path, but we'll always end up at the same ending.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. You know,
And-
that's what we're here to do.
Exactly.
You're basically telling your story in this hour that we've had together, which is fantastic. Dave, cannot thank you enough for your time, man. This has been awesome.
you,
Congratulations
guys.
on all of the nominations you're working on right now. Everything. Have fun when you go to New York. Live
I
it
will.
up. Enjoy the hell out of it.
Mhm.
I
and
will.
Make everything count, like you said, for the rest of the year with the trustee position, because that's huge. And yeah, I think you're making Central proud. That's for sure.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yep. You have a good one, man.
You too, guys. Take it easy.
Student Media Podcast signing off.
See you guys.
See ya.